Finishing up our practice for solving special right triangles. So it's the mixed review portion. So 13 through 18, they're not necessarily grouped by 45, 45, 90, or 30, 60, 90, but mixed review. So again, I would really highly recommend writing down the ratios of the sides from your special right triangle so we can get those memorized. If we know this is 45, we know this is 45, which means these two legs have to be the same. And our hypotenuse is x square roots of 2 every time. So if I know that x square root of 2 is equal to 8 square root of 2, get x by itself, divide by the square root of 2. These guys go away, so x is going to equal 8. So that means this side is equal to 8, and this side is equal to 8. So u and v, maybe I should do an and, are equal to 8. So for number 13, they're both equal to 8, u and v. Number 14 is a 30, 60, 90. So we know this is 60 because 30 and 90 are leftovers for that 180 is going to be 60. Across from 30 is always your x for your ratio. Across from 60 is x square roots of 3, and our hypotenuse is always 2x. So our number given is our 12, so that leg, x square root of 3, is equal to 12. I need to get x by itself. If now is a good time to pause and just see if you can practice solving appropriately. So we're going to divide by the square root of 3, which gives me x equals 12 divided by the square root of 3. We don't want to leave a radical on the bottom. So we are going to multiply both sides, or multiply by 1, top and bottom, by the square root of 3, which is the equivalent of 1, which doesn't really change the answer. It's just putting it in a better form. So 12 square roots of 3. And square root of 3 times the square root of 3, remember, is the same thing as square root of 3 squared, and that's the inverse of square rooting something. So what comes out is what's left, because ultimately it's the square root of 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. Whole numbers reduce. 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4. So 4 square roots of 3 is our answer for our x side. 4 square roots of 3 is going to be up here, which is y on this problem. And then 2x. So whatever x is, we're going to double it. So 2 times 4 square roots of 3. These are whole numbers. That 2 does not apply to that square root of 3 because it's a radical, and these are not. These are whole numbers. So it's going to be 8 square roots of 3. So that means our x to the actual problem, like I said, this is the one I was calling heart in the last, just so we don't have to say x over and over and make it confusing. The hypotenuse is going to be 8 square roots of 3. Call it heart. And then our other leg that was missing, because we had 12, was 4 square roots of 3. All right, number 15, we have a 30, 60, 90 again. So across from 30 is always x. Across from 60 is always the x square roots of 3, and our hypotenuse is always 2x. So with that said, 2x is equal to 3. So we're going to divide by 2. X equals 3 over 2. Now, pay attention to when these questions are asked. Sometimes it'll tell you to round to the nearest tenth, or leave in decimal form, or leave in fraction form. I'm going to leave in fraction form just because we have the radicals, and I feel like it's a little easier than decimals to be able to simplify if necessary. So that means our b side is going to be 3 square roots of 2. 3 divided by 2. Getting all excited with all these radicals. Which, do know that that is 1.5. That is right. Both are correct. It's just a matter of reading the instructions, knowing your teacher, and knowing the program you're using, which is life in high school, period, and definitely in a virtual classroom. So if x is 3 square roots, 3 divided by 2, and I want to plug that in here, so 3 divided by 2 times the square root of 3, that can't be reduced. So that whole thing is your answer, because 2 does not go into 3. That can't reduce, and that's a radical, so that 2 stuck. So this side is 3 square roots of 3 over 2 for that one. A little messy, but as long as you take it slow, you should be good. So number 16, we have another 30, 60, 90. So across from 30 is always our x, which means this is our 60 side, which means this side is x square roots of 3, and across from our hypotenuse is 2x. Now, maybe you're picking up on this pattern, but if you see square root of 3, square root of 3, you always know this has to be x. But as far as algebraically and just making sure we're understanding our y's, we're going to divide both sides by square root of 3. These will cancel out. So x in our ratio is going to equal 11. So that means B is going to equal to 11 because that's where x goes. So B equals 11. And then A is 2 times x, so 2x equals side A. So that means 2 times 11 equals A. So A is going to give me 22. So then this side is 22. So 22 and 11. So even though it looked kind of scary because you started with a radical, this one's a lot neater than some of the other ones we've done. On to our last two. Number 17, another 30, 60, 90. So across from 30 is our x. Our hypotenuse is always 2x. And then across from 60 is x square roots of 3. So we're going to simplify. Our ratio 2x is equal to 2 square roots of 2 because we need to find out what x is, so then we can plug it in. Divide by 2. These are our whole numbers. They cancel out. So x equals the square root of 2. Now, that does not answer our question necessarily unless you remember that b is x. So this side is going to be equal to the square root of 2. And then a, we're going to plug that in. So if a is equal to x, our ratio x times the square root of 3, then we're going to do a equals square root of 2 times the square root of 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. So we have the square root of 6, which cannot be simplified anymore. So then a is going to be the square root of 6. Is the answer for leg A. Number 18, 45, 45, 90. I don't know about y'all, but after doing a bunch of 30, 60, 90, 45, 45, 90s are my favorite because I know these two. Once I solve for one, I have the other. And then the hypotenuse, remember, is x square roots of 2. Not quite as neat as some of the ones we did prior because we have a whole number 7. But if 7 equals x square roots of 2, we're going to divide by the square root of 2, which is no good. We don't want to leave radicals in the bottom. So 7 square roots of 2. To get rid of it, though, we're just going to multiply by 1, which is the same number over the same number. 7 times square roots of 2 is going to leave me with 7 square roots of 2. Square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is going to give me 2, because remember, that's the same thing as square root of 2 squared. And squaring something is the inverse of rooting it, so it just gets rid of the bar. 7 and 2 cannot be reduced. You can't put these two together because this is a radical and this is not. So this is our answer for x. So this side, our n, is 7 square roots of 2 over 2. And that means if this side is that, then like I said, we've done the math. Then we also know this side is that because, again, if the two base angles are congruent, we know their two sides or legs are also congruent. All right, guys, lots of examples. Get on with your delta. I will also have a couple of the delta problems worked posted as well. Again, watch what you need. All right. Have a great day, guys.